Well, look who's back for another build video, huh? Well, lucky for you, this one's even more powerful than the ones before this. So, let me ask you something. Has this ever happened to you? Okay, yeah, because me neither. What even was that? How do you get one shot from somebody just screaming at you? That absolutely makes no sense. So, if this is happening to you, like it is happening to me, because clearly I am absolute horse ass at this game, clearly, because who else would die to something like that? Then you need this build. This build is something that you will not get one shot from. Also, ignore the fact that I just got one shot in this build by that. That's besides the point. I just wanted to show off how fucking weird that was, okay? Okay, anyways, let's get into the actual build. What is this build? What am I doing here? So, to begin with, this is a tank build. It's meant to be extremely tanky, extremely defensive, so that whenever people hit you, they don't hit you for anything. So then that means the tankier you are, the better this build is going to be. So, in theory, you're going to want a lot of wood. So going into the actual stats of the build, I personally am running 74 wood and 60 earth. You want a lot of earth so that you can use your spells, and obviously, like I said, you want a lot of wood so you can have even more health than normal. And then for this build, there are 3 spells that are a must-have. You have to have them. The first one that you want, it's probably the most important to the entire build. It's called Enhanced Defense. Basically, you take less damage from any source, except for usually magic. Magic usually doesn't care. But what I'm getting at is that you take less damage. And, you cannot be flinched. And so what exactly does that mean? It means that anytime you take a hit, you don't react to it. Your character does not flinch. The only thing that can make you flinch is if you use like a heavy attack or a martial arts skill and they deflect it, then that will get you flinch, or by, heavy attacks, like really big attacks, which players usually don't have, so it doesn't even really matter. And you might be asking yourself, so why is not flinching so important? Well, it's because you can just sit there and wail on them, they'll try and wail back, and they can't do anything about it. You just poise through all of their hits, and if they deflect your moves, you don't get flinched. You can just keep spamming your light attack, and if you have a fast weapon like I do here, you just keep hitting through all their stuff like it doesn't even matter. It is the most viable tank thing that you need. Going into the second spell is going to be Lion's Roar. I'm sure a lot of you see it everywhere. It is easily one of the best spells for buffing in the game. Makes you take less damage, and if someone hits you with a critical strike while you have Lion's Roar activated for one time, you don't take any damage. I'm sure sometimes you've seen in my videos where I will hit someone with a critical strike and that enemy will take no damage. That is why. It is very good. So already, pairing Lion's Roar with Enhanced Defense, you are not flinching from anything your opponent does. Let's say you're just R1 spamming, they're deflecting everything. Your meter is going down into the negative, so if they do hit you once, they will be able to riposte you, critical strike you. But now that you have Lion's Roar on, you are even more tanky, and guess what happens? Whenever they critical strike you, nothing happens. They hit you for 0, meaning you can just spam R1s, not get deflected, and even if you do, you're not getting punished for it in the slightest. There is nothing they can do about this build. And then the last spell that's not as important as the others, they're still important, is going to be the Illusionary Shell. This one basically makes it so whenever your opponent does damage to you, there's like a certain health pool of damage that you're able to absorb from this shield. So they just keep hitting you and doing 0 damage constantly to you until the shield is used up. Which, funny enough, is that if you have a lot of defense, it has a certain amount of damage that they have to get through before the shield is used up. So if you have high defense, they're hitting less on you, meaning they're hitting less on this invisible shield, meaning it takes them even longer to get through this invisible shield. So let's go through a quick little recap. Infinite poise, so you cannot be staggered. Tons and tons and tons of defense. If you get critical strike, it hits you for 0. And then you have an invisible shield that's even tankier than natural. And you just take 0 damage for a time being until they break that. And then once they break that, you are extremely tanky, so it doesn't even matter. You will even see in this build video, I'm not trying to do anything skillful. I am literally just sitting there and I'm spamming R1 and you constantly see me beating these people because I have no care in the world for anything that they do to me. Just watch this clip that I have going on right now. Look at him. Look at the damage. Look at my health bar right now. Look at that. I was just letting that happen and he did nothing to me. I did not care about it. This is easily the strongest build in this game. If people can't do damage to you, what are they going to do? Nothing. They are going to lose instantly. They don't have a choice. So for the very last few things to say about this build, I am running the full Rampancy set, which gives me the Brutal Urusine Warrior set bonus, which basically that just makes it so anytime I get a deflect off, they do even less damage to me. And then for the embedments, you know, the skills that I put on the armor and I embed them in there, I'm using the minus damage received and then the positive effect duration so I can get my buffs to last super long. And that's going to about do it for this build video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I can see other people utilizing this build because, wow, tankiness is absolutely outrageous. So, you guys enjoy your invasions out there, good luck with this build, and have a good one. Peace.